Lots of students struggle to get motivated at some point or another during the semester. This video offers information about barriers to motivation and some general tips and tricks to help you find your motivation. Henry Ford stated, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're usually right," which speaks to our power of our own expectations. Self-critical thoughts are very normal. These thoughts are so common they actually have a name, and it's called the imposter syndrome, the fear that you are just one mistake or bad effort away from being revealed as an imposter. As part of the imposter syndrome, many people magnify how big their contribution needs to be and minimize their own abilities and efforts. A variety of issues may serve to impede your motivation. These can include prolonged periods of stress, which may also lead to burnout, questioning if you are able to accomplish or achieve a particular goal, or procrastination, which is the tendency to avoid tasks deemed difficult or uninteresting. If procrastination is something you struggle with, check out our short video on tips and tricks for taking a stand against procrastination. The procrastination video will give you strategies to help with time management and setting goals. This slide identifies some strategies that can be useful for countering the barriers to motivation. I will walk you through each of these strategies during the following slides. When life is out of balance, we can feel constantly tired, are more vulnerable to illness, struggle to get motivated, are more likely to procrastinate, and life can feel like it is happening to us rather than feeling like we have choices about how we are spending our time. One of the best ways to counteract the impact of prolonged stress is by actively making the choice to work toward developing better balance of the wellness priorities that you identify for your own life. Wellness is a dynamic process of attaining fulfillment in several interrelated areas of life, including physical, social, intellectual, spiritual, emotional, and environmental health. The following are 5 strategies for developing better balance in your life. First, you need to determine what really matters in your life. If you could only do one thing this year, what would it be? If you could do 2 things this year, what would they be? Using this line of questioning, see if you can identify your top 5 priorities. Try to be specific and focus on what feels true to you rather than what you or others expect you to focus on. Second, do a reality check. Think of a typical week in your life. Are you spending time in your priority areas? Consider what might be taking time away from your priorities. If you are unsure how you are spending your time, try completing an unschedule by tracking how you actually spend your time, in as much detail as you can, for several days. You might use a blank timetable sheet to help you with this. Third, develop some goals. Much of what we have to do doesn't get done because we don't set goals for ourselves. We have good intentions, but we don't have a goal that outlines what it is we hope to do. Goals are important because they give us a target to aim for. They help focus our time and effort. They facilitate our motivation and encourage our persistence and desire. They help us to prioritize, and they provide a roadmap. Long-term goals are part of the bigger picture of our lives, our dreams and aspirations. In each of your priority areas from step 1, what are your long-term goals? Short-term goals are things we want or need to do that can be accomplished in a few hours or days. Short-term goals are often smaller steps toward a long-term goal. Short-term goals are most helpful when they are SMART. That is, they're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-limited. Fourth, develop a plan. Know what you have to do and when you need to do it by. Develop a flexible schedule for the day, week, and term. I find it helpful to work backwards from the end of the term to get a complete picture of everything that is happening. Decide how much time and energy you want to give to each of your life roles. These might include your role as a student, friend, employee, volunteer, etc. Determine ways to reduce the time and energy spent on low-priority areas. Maybe those are TV, Facebook, or YouTube. Make space for the important things that move you in the direction of your top priorities. Also, make sure that there is time for you on your to-do list as well. I find the Big Rocks First principle to be helpful. When developing your schedule, put the most important tasks, the big rocks, in first, then the smaller rocks, then finally the pebbles and sand. If we start with pebbles and sand, we won't have room left for those big rocks. Finally, watch for signs of burnout. To minimize the risk of burnout, commit to regular exercise, healthy eating, and a consistent sleep schedule. Commit to responsible use of alcohol, if any. Develop a community of supportive relationships. Regularly reevaluate your goals. And try to take at least 30 minutes for yourself each day. For example, you might go for a walk, read, meditate, or reflect. In addition to balance, we can turn to our values for motivation. We all have important values that inspire and motivate us. Values can help guide our behavior when we face a challenging or stressful experience. They also remind us that other things besides just intelligence are significant in our life. We can get so focused on proving we are smart enough, good enough, and worthy enough, we can be distracted from our true values. Take some time to consider your values. How does your education fit into your values, or help you to express your values? What values will you be able to demonstrate by completing your semester, your degree? Next, we want to consider the role self-confidence plays in our motivation. First, let's consider what is self-confidence. It can be defined as an attitude that allows individuals to have positive yet realistic views of themselves and their situations. It has also been defined as confidence in oneself and one's powers and abilities. When considering your own confidence, think about what doubts or thoughts arise that might be impeding your progress on your degree. Perhaps some of the following ideas sound familiar, such as, I can't do stats, I should be able to do this without such effort, what I write should be elegant and well-crafted, I should sound smarter, my prof will think this is awful. There are a few things we can do to help build our confidence and self-efficacy. First, focus on developing specific short-term goals that are challenging yet attainable. Think SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Find a way to align your short-term goals with your top 5 priorities. Second, take time to reflect on each success before moving on to the next. It's valuable to acknowledge your achievements. Third, notice if there are any doubts creeping into your mind. Calmly and rationally try and challenge these doubts. What previous experiences support your goals? Given what you know about yourself, how likely is it that the worst-case scenario will happen? What evidence supports your doubts, and what evidence counters your doubts? Fourth, create a supportive setting by recruiting people around you who are encouraging and will stand up for you. Finally, take time to understand how you learn and how you work. We all work and learn in different ways. There is no one right way to do this. Your right way is the way that works for you. Some people study best when they can study in a group and talk through problems. Others study best when they can read a textbook on their own and make notes of key terms. Some people need lots of breaks. Others can focus for more prolonged periods of time. Reflect on your past experiences to develop an understanding of how you best learn and work. One way to conceptualize human beings related to mental well-being is by delineating 3 aspects of who we are. Our cognition, which refers to how we think about things, our behaviors, how we act or behave, and our emotions, that is how we feel about things. These big 3 interact and can affect each other in both positive and negative ways, both supportive and unsupportive ways. Mental wellness can be increased by learning to pay attention to our thinking, feeling, and acting to learn what is happening for us in any given event, both happy and difficult. But I find it especially useful when I'm in a rut or feeling a bit overwhelmed. For example, sometimes when I have a project to complete, I struggle to get motivated to get going on it. So let's see what's happening for me. In regards to my feelings, I may be experiencing distraction, low motivation, a bit of anxiety, and a bit of fear of failure. I may be thinking, I know I should get started, but first I'll make a cup of tea. Or, I don't know where to start. I've tried doing this before and it just didn't start in the right way. And I just don't have the energy to do this. As I examine my behaviors, I may discover that I am making my tea, checking my email, and talking with a colleague. What I notice is that nothing really changes, and I continue to feel low motivation, maybe even some increased anxiety and fear. To get out of this rut, I need to change a piece of the puzzle or the triangle. I may adjust my thinking, saying things like, just get started, give it 20 minutes of concerted effort and see what happens. Or, if I get 5 pages completed, take a break as a reward. And I might say, I've written other papers, I can approach this one in the same way. I may change my behavior by breaking things into small steps, making my tea, then sitting down to work, starting with a task that gets me engaged in the task, even working on an outline or organizing some references. Feelings are perhaps the last to change, and often change as the result of shifting my thinking and actions. In time, I start to feel some motivation from the success of some productivity. I feel less anxiety because the project is underway. Try this for yourself. Grab a piece of blank paper. Identify what might be happening in the big 3 when you are feeling low motivation. Then create preferred thinking and action options. Stop to notice what new feelings might emerge as a result. How we perceive our tasks can often play into our motivation. If we approach a task from a fixed mindset, we constantly judge our own performance based on what it means and how smart we are. Failures, setbacks, critical feedback are interpreted as being intellectually inadequate. In contrast, a growth mindset focuses on the implications of our performance for learning, growth, and taking constructive action. From this perspective, we want to know what we can learn from successes, mistakes, and failures, and how we can improve and develop ourselves academically and intellectually. Consider asking yourself, what can I learn? Who can I ask for help? What other strategies and approaches can I try? A growth mindset fosters a hunger for learning, rather than a hunger for approval, which is what a fixed mindset would encourage. Remember to reward yourself. Set up small rewards throughout your study plan to help motivate you to continue on. When rewards are smaller, you can use them more frequently, which can help maintain momentum. Consider some of the sample rewards shown here, or develop your own so that they are meaningful to you. Try practicing self-compassion and gratitude. Self-compassion is about giving yourself a break. It is about being good to ourselves and not mentally treating ourselves like a punching bag. We have extremely high standards for ourselves and can often be our own worst critic. Negative thinking and high levels of stress require attention and self-care. Tied to self-compassion is gratitude, a positive emotion or attitude in acknowledgement of a benefit that one has received or will receive. Both self-compassion and gratitude are needed in good balance with each other and help promote overall mental wellness. Finally, invest time in creating a community of support. Make a public commitment to your support community about your goals. Try developing a work plan with another person. Even another procrastinator can recognize an unrealistic plan. Seek out help if you feel stuck, perhaps from a friend, a classmate, a TA, a professor, someone from the Student Success Center or from Student Accessibility Services, or a counselor or physician at the Wellness Center. Try paralleling work with a friend or classmate. Meet together and work on avoided tasks. Finally, plan social rewards. Meet a friend for coffee, plan a movie night, or a dinner date. As a final note about motivation, try to remember why you are here and what you are working toward. Connecting what we are doing to the bigger picture can help motivate us when we are working on a seemingly menial or irrelevant task. Consider finding a symbolic way of reminding yourself what your top priorities are. Perhaps there is a picture, a quote, or an object that represents this for you. Put this symbol somewhere visible and accessible. The SU Wellness Center has launched a university-wide initiative to support all campus members in creating a healthy campus community. This initiative recognizes that everyone, students, faculty, and staff, have a role to play in creating a healthy campus community. It also recognizes that student health and well-being is essential to academic success, and that if we all work together to create a supportive campus environment, students will thrive not only in university, but in all areas of their lives. A healthy campus community is one where we all feel supported and empowered to take action on our own well-being, but are also willing to lend a hand to support others. Remember, if you are concerned about a friend or your own well-being, it is important to seek help early. Call or visit the SC Wellness Center at 403-210-9355. We're located in MacEwan Student Center, room 370. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. For more information about this initiative and to access a toolkit with practical tips, tools, and ideas for integrating the Creating a Healthy Campus Community principles into your day, visit ucalgary.ca/wellnesscenter/healthycampus. For additional information and support, check out the University of Calgary Wellness Center website. Follow the links to the Counseling Center to access information about individual, personal, academic, and career counseling. Please be aware that we also offer specific academic and career clinics for students with specific concerns. Other resources around well-being include the Wellness Guide located on our website. Take care.